Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. My name is Isaac, aka Isaac Juan Kenobi, and today I'm joined with
Brianna.
And I've been on and off Poindexter Lounge for the last couple years. That's where some of you may know me, and anybody who's new, welcome. And I'm very thankful that you clicked on today's video. For my first video, I was kind of thinking what I should do, kind of like, should I do games? Should I do a podcast? Should I do movie review? Should I do a review about anything? But we put together this tier list, each are individual ones, and I figured that would probably be perfect for this.
Oh yeah.
So before we get into this, there's a few movies that we haven't seen yet this year. These movies we'll either watch them when they go to streaming services, and some of these hopefully we'll get to catch before they're out of theaters.
Oh yeah.
The first one is Twisters. That one we didn't really get to see when it was in theaters just because it came out when we were on vacation.
Yep.
And we really wanted to see the 4D showing that they had. And
oh yeah.
Yeah, and so we didn't really get to see it once we got back from vacation. And so now it's on Peacock. We'll have the opportunity to see it. So that'll probably be on the 2025 tier list, or maybe an honorable mention later on if we get around to that one before I'm done editing this.
Yep.
The second one, we've been a little bit back and forth on, but we decided we will see it. It's just a matter of
when.
Yeah, when.
For Wicked. I would say that was one that kind of got like in the mix. Like we had Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yeah.
We've been pretty busy with schedule, so that one's just kind of like, okay, do we have the time and money to do so? So yeah, kind of just like push that one off to the side as well. So maybe get back into that one.
Yeah. So third on the list for us that we haven't seen yet is Mufasa.
Yep.
That's one we just haven't got around to it mainly. Like it's obviously going to be cool to see, like to learn more about Mufasa and Scar and their story, because we've gotten more of Simba's story.
Oh yeah.
Since the first one. It's just more so with Mufasa. It's just there's like no suspense because nothing's gonna happen to them. Like they're gonna make out this movie completely fine.
Right.
But it will be cool to see like what happened before Mufasa became king. Where did Scar's jealousy come from? Where did his envy come from?
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see that. But we'll have to see if we'll catch that one on Disney Plus or if we'll catch that one in theaters. And same thing with the other two. If we catch those before, I'll edit it in. For that.
Oh yeah.
And then lastly, one that we haven't seen yet that wasn't really on our radar until it came out.
Oh yeah.
Was Nosferatu.
Yeah.
That one, I don't really know anything about it, honestly, other than from what we've seen from the trailers. But I've heard really good things about it. So.
I mostly wanted to see it for William Dafoe and like his performance. I know he's been like getting into like the more niche type of genre, so just kind of wanted to see what he does with that role. And like there are like a lot of big names in it too, so yeah, definitely want to see it for sure.
Oh yeah.
I know another one that we missed, but like I really didn't want to see was Challengers with Zendaya.
Oh yeah.
Like she's a tennis. She's a tennis player or whatever. I heard it's really good.
Yeah.
But I think we were busy at the time for that one too.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think that's all of them. Oh, and then the Timothée Chalamet movie that just came out. What's his name? Bob.
Yeah. I'm blanking on what's called right now, but I'll edit it in the poster for it.
Yeah, I can't remember his name. Is it Bob Dylan or I don't know.
Yeah, it is Bob Dylan, but I don't remember the name of the movie itself.
Okay, so it's Bob Dylan, but we're not Bob Dylan fans. We don't know too much.
We're not familiar with his music. We're not familiar with his story or anything like that.
Yeah, we're Gen Z, so we're Gen Z.
Yeah, we will catch that one. It's just a matter of when for that one as well.
Yeah.
But even though we missed a handful of movies, we ended up seeing 26 movies this year.
Oh yeah.
So that's a little over 2 a month. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm pretty sure both of the bottom of the list for ours is probably the same.
Oh yeah.
At number 26.
We also collect popcorn buckets. Yeah. Like for most of the shows that we go to. If they're like good. You know, some of them have like just like little wells, and then other ones are like really detailed and like over the top.
Oh yeah, like the Gladiator one was really cool.
Yeah.
I was very glad and very lucky that we were able to find that one.
Oh yeah.
We also got the Sonic one.
Kung Fu Panda one is my
favorite.
favorite.
The Kung Fu Panda one. We got Slimer.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Godzilla X Kong one.
Moana.
Yeah, we got the Moana 2 bucket.
Mm-hmm.
We got a bunch of them. Like I'll throw pictures in here of all the different ones that we got throughout the year.
Oh yeah.
But it's kind of something that we started collecting together.
Little tradition, you know, for like when we have our own little family, we can just, okay, this is the movie for tonight. We're going to pull out this popcorn bucket. So, yeah, it adds that little extra fun and memories because we get to like explain to like our kids or like family, like, you know, what we did that day. So, yeah.
And it also makes it like interesting too, like when we go to see movies. It's like, okay, which theater do we want to go to? Because like, which popcorn bucket do we want to get?
Yeah. Oh and, yeah. Like, it's like a little treasure hunt.
Exactly.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will start with my list.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you want to bounce back and forth where we each read our number 26 and go upwards, or do you want me to just share my whole list first and you share your whole list?
Let's bounce back and forth.
All right.
I think the bounce back and forth will do great.
All right. So I'm pretty confident that both of our number 26s are the same. Because it would probably be that for pretty much everybody that saw it this year.
Yeah.
Number 26 for me is Madam Web.
Oh, yes. 26 for me was Madam Web as well.
Yeah. For that movie, best thing I could say is it feels like a waste of 2 hours. There's a couple cool things here and there, but other than that, like
very few.
Yeah. Well, like even one thing you point out halfway through the movie that I didn't realize until you pointed it out is that the villain, some of his scenes are just completely dubbed over.
Yeah, badly dubbed over, and like, I can catch a horrible dub. I can catch it from a mile away. So it's just I hated it. It was so bad.
Yeah, and then that too, and then the villain's whole motive is because he gets killed in the future by them, so he's got to kill them before they get their powers, and it's just I don't know.
Yeah.
I remember walking out of that movie, I was just like, I felt like I just wasted 2 hours.
Yeah. I love that, you know, they did end up showing the girls in the costumes at the end, but it would have been nice to get that throughout the whole movie. Yeah. Because that's what we thought we were going to get was, okay, like we have the Spider Women all teamed up and ready to go, but that was definitely disappointing, and plot and dialogue just fell through. Yeah. Then, music was bad. Yeah. Characters bad. Yeah, so. Yikes.
Right. So number 25 for me is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. That one, there was a lot that I did like about it. I thought the visuals were really cool.
Yeah.
All the ghosts look really cool. It was cool to see the OG Ghostbusters. And I did like the line where one of the Ghostbusters parents said, like, I don't want to retire. This is my golden golden years. Like, I want to do this. Like, I thought that was really cool. But the kids are honestly what took me out of the movie. Like, the little sister, like, she kept messing up. She kept doing the wrong things throughout the entire movie and just didn't want to admit that she was wrong.
Yes.
And, like, it got to the point where it was annoying. And it's like, okay, if a kid uses a little bit of common sense, they know it's clearly wrong what they're doing.
Yeah, like, if she had just, like, a little bit discernment about, like, the spirit ghost she had, like, a crush on, you know, I felt like everything wouldn't have happened. Or, like, would have went wrong.
Yeah. And then... Yeah, and then, like, Finn Wolfhard's character, it's like his only 2 character traits are pretty much that he's an adult now and he has his license. And so that's what he's kept reiterating throughout the entire movie.
Oh, yeah.
So that's why that's at number 25 for me. Yeah. I feel like from here on for my list, though, like, yeah, they're at the bottom half, but I still enjoyed them. For... Number 24 for me is Monkey Man. I thought the visuals were great. I thought the choreography was great. The story, I was just confused, and I feel like I need to watch it again, honestly. Just because the only time I did see it was when we were in theaters. And I just feel like I got lost like halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And like it started to just not make sense. But there's some things that you pointed out after we saw the movie, and I was like, oh, okay, I didn't notice that, or oh, okay, that makes sense. And so like I'd have to go back to watch it, but that's probably my number 24.
Yeah, I personally, I think I put Monkey Man at, where is it? Oh, I put Monkey Man at 15, so it's like right in the middle.
Yeah.
But some things I liked about Monkey Man was just how they included, I know that there's a certain traditional name for it, but how they included the trans women or that helped him fight towards the end of the movie, I thought that was really cool.
Oh yeah.
Also learning about how hard it was to develop the movie and get it, you know, all together, and how Jordan Peele kind of had to come in and like save it a little bit. But it was cool.
And also most of the movie was shot on iPhone as well.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that until after we saw it.
Yeah, it was mostly shot on iPhone. And like half, like going through the movie, like up until like the halfway point, like the camera work is very shaky. It's like all over the place.
Yeah.
And like towards the end of the movie, it's very steady and it's calm. And I kind of feel like that reflects his character and his character development throughout the story. I do agree, like the plot was a little bit confusing at times. Well, not confusing, it just got lost a little bit.
Yes.
You know, for like a regular viewer that isn't used to those types of movies. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good for what it was, you know, for Dave Patel to like, you know, put himself in that light, especially as like a like an Indian man, you know, putting himself into that category. So that's really cool. Was that 24?
Yes.
My 24 was Wish.
Okay.
I liked Wish. It was like, I think just the music didn't really hit for me, and that's what kind of took me out of it. I feel like the music could have been better for like it being like this big Disney movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought it was okay, and I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I'm right in the middle about it. So yeah. And the star was really cute. Little star was adorable. Yes.
Mine's a little bit higher, but I'll give some of my thoughts once we get to that one. Yeah. On my list. What's number 23 for you?
Number 23 for me is Joker 2.
Oh, okay.
Joker 2 was, I fell asleep. I was like in and out of it, but it's okay. Because I do remember, but I feel like Lady Gaga was just like, you know, love her, but like I don't really think that she was necessary for the movie. And I really liked your thoughts on it, like all your theories and everything.
It's like some of the theories I had in the first one. It's like, oh, it's just a character that he made up, or it's a character that he saw on the news, and he because he's someone that's mentally unstable, he was just imagined himself as that role. And I was half right about that. At least it's just a character he made up. Right. And I thought that was a cool concept. But it's just like, I didn't need a whole second movie to confirm that.
Right. And it's like, he's basically a mantle, is what he said. Like, he's basically a mantle, and somebody takes on that mantle of Joker. Yeah. I thought that was a very cool theory. Oh, yeah. But like he said, we didn't really need another movie for it, for sure.
Yeah, it definitely did feel like, oh, the first one did so good that they had to make a second one. And it's like, hey, like, I love the first one. I liked this one. It's just with all the other movies that came out this year, it just fell a little bit lower on my list. And I feel like that's the same for you as well. Just because there honestly were a lot of great movies that came out this year. Yeah. My number 23 is Beetlejuice. Okay. That one definitely felt like a cash grab. Just because I know it's something they've been working on for so long. And finally got it off the ground, finally got it filmed, and finally got it released. So like it was cool to see like all of them reunited after after this long, and
yeah,
I know we weren't born yet when the first one came out, but I've seen the first one growing up, and I really like the first one. And like this one, I don't know, this one's like very slow until the second half.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't know, like I did enjoy it, and I thought it was funny. I don't know, it just felt like it was missing something that like the first one had.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
Yeah,
I definitely do think it was like missing that little oomph.
Yeah.
Or like it had too many like plot lines.
Yes, it definitely did.
If they were gonna do that, they could have like spliced it up and just had like a third movie.
Yeah.
Because I was kind of confused on who was going to be like the main like, you know, antagonist. Yes. So, yeah, if it was just like, okay, the boyfriend is evil, or like, you know, the one evil Frankenstein lady, like that would have made more sense.
Yeah.
To just pick and choose one. I feel like
rather than like giving each character, like each protagonist, giving them an antagonist.
Yeah. I feel like they should have went just the evil boyfriend route and built it up even more.
Yeah.
And that would have been like an amazing movie still, you know, and then they go on the hunt, you know, trying to find her and everything and try to get her soul back and all that stuff. So, yeah, I definitely agree with some of your points for sure.
Yeah. And then, so what next would be number 22?
Yes. Number 22 for me was Bob Marley. Okay. Love Bob Marley. You know, great. I learned a couple new things about him and just how, you know, the industry worked at the time and how he, you know, definitely made an impact on, you know, Jamaican music or Jamaica itself. Yeah.
And then even like the actor that played him too was really good. Like I felt like I learned a lot from this movie, and I thought it was really cool. Music, really good, especially because it was Bob Marley's music.
Yep.
And
obviously.
Yeah, and I agree pretty much with every point that you said for that. Mine's a couple spots higher. My number 22 is Venom: The Last Dance.
Oh yeah.
That one. It makes more sense now why we got it now, since they're giving up on the movies. They at least wanted. Also, Happy New Year's to anybody who's watching.
Happy New Year's. This isn't wine, I promise. It's just sparkling water.
Yeah. And so for Venom, like it was nice at least that they at least gave him a send off, just because after seeing Craven, after seeing Morbius, after seeing Madam Web these last couple years, and if they knew they were done, they were pulling the plug. It was at least good that they at least gave him a send off. It just I feel like this movie also just didn't really accomplish anything other than the stuff with Null. But it's like even at the end of the movie, Null's still locked up. Venom, we don't know where Venom is. Yeah. We don't know what's going on with Eddie Brock. Like, if it just ends there, then it's just like, okay, they just wasted Null. Yeah. But if they could decide to continue at least Venom, then it'll just be cool to see where they go from here. Yeah. So, my number 21 is Joker 2. I know we already talked about that, but mine, on my list, Joker 2 fell at number 21. And then for your list...
my 21 was Kung Fu Panda.
Okay.
Again, for a children's movie, I don't think it was horrible. I don't think it was great. I would say it's right in the movie, or right in the middle. And I thought it was cute, fun. I liked the plot. Yeah, it was fine. It's just all right.
Then my number 20 is Bob Marley, One Love for me. So it seems like our bottom portion is pretty similar to each other. Like I said, for that movie, like I felt like I learned a lot, and I personally really loved the movie. Yeah. It's just, like I said, like even though it's this far down, doesn't mean the movie's bad. It's just there were so many good movies this year that just this one ended up down there.
I think with Bob Marley, the thing that I liked the most about the movie was just the tone and the cinematic
That too.
visuals
Yes.
of the movie, like just the coloring that they used. It was a very like warm type of feeling, so I really liked how they used that, and it gave like that nostalgic type of vibe. So
yeah, and then even at the end, like how they showed the film of Bob Marley too, that like they had like concerts and stuff and film of him, and just like you see during the credits, like, oh, like they shot these like one for one during the movie too, and I thought that was cool. Or it's like, oh, it's like a different perspective of this shot that we actually have of Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And I really like that. Your number 20?
My number 20 was Venom.
Okay.
The Last Dance, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I liked it. Something I like to say is like they pulled a Shazam. So basically what that means in my dictionary is that they, you know, pull out a bunch of superhero friends.
Oh, yeah.
Like how they did in Shazam 1, like how all of his brothers and sisters became, you know,
the Shazamly.
Yeah, the Shazamly. And they basically just did that, but with Venom. I thought it was funny how they just kept showing random people, and like you knew that they were gonna be Venom people, like at the end of the, you know, movie.
Yeah.
I just thought it was funny, like we're getting a weird zoom in on this random background character. Like it was just very, very weird. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the movie, if I'm being honest, but I did like the fight scenes towards the end. I thought I thought those were pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
And the family in the van was pretty funny. But yeah.
Oh yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what was your number 19?
My number 19 was Beetlejuice.
Okay.
I've seen the first one. I don't remember much, but like I really did like this one. I mean, well, I didn't like, you know, really like it, but I thought it was okay for what it was. I was entertained through and through. I thought there was definitely some funny moments.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, I like the music. I didn't mind it. I just wish, like I said earlier, they didn't do so many paths. They should have just stuck to one storyline. But yeah. My
number 19 would be Kung Fu Panda 4. It's like I agree with what you said. But one thing I kind of like too is just like the lessons that Po learned with the fox, and just kind of just trust, and just showing like even 4 movies and Po hasn't changed. He still has a big heart. He still cares. He's still that teacher. Still wants to, and still even in some aspects still a student. And I really liked it. It was cool seeing a bunch of characters return from the old movies.
Oh yeah.
And just kind of having like that big fight at the end. And I really thought like it was cool to like to have like a chameleon as the villain.
Oh yeah, that was really cool.
And just like the. Just brought a different aspect to Kung Fu Panda a little bit.
Yeah.
It was like, since the chameleon could blend in and disguise as anybody. Like, I really like that. I don't feel like it's the best of the saga, but I'm definitely glad that we had Kung Fu Panda 4. I'm honestly hoping we get Kung Fu Panda 5. I just hope that they can bring back the Furious 5 for this one rather than doing what they did for this one.
Yep. What was your 18?
My number 18 was Wish.
Wish? Okay.
I understood what you were saying. Oh yeah, I really liked it. I really liked the music for Wish. Especially the song that you get at the very beginning of the movie that she sings. I love that song. And
wait, how's it go?
I'll have to play it for you after this.
It's the city of Emerald. It's like the city. Okay, I did like that song. That song was cute.
Yes, yeah. I really like that one. And I also like the one where she talks about wishing upon a star.
Yeah.
That one I really
liked those
too.
Were cute. Those were cute.
Yeah, and then like the King, like his songs I thought were really cool, and just the whole story. Like I really like that one. And like it's number 18, so it's like the bottom half of the list. But like I said, like with all these movies, like I really like them.
It wasn't like everything towards the bottom like wasn't like crazy bad.
We just had a ton of good movies.
Madam Web.
Yeah, except for Madam Web.
But it's just a ton of good movies.
Yeah. There's so many movies that came out this year.
Yeah.
What was number 18 for you?
Number 18 for me was Craven.
Okay.
I know I put it a little bit higher. on my list, but I feel like if you take out the dialogue and you take out like the bad CGI of Rhino,
Yeah.
it's not a bad movie. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I thought the fight scenes were great.
Oh yeah.
I don't think that they used the full potential of that rated R rating.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by that by the time the movie was done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there was blood. Yeah, there was a couple brutal things like that you did see.
Yeah.
But yeah, by the end of that, I was like, oh, like take out the brutal stuff. Like that's the only reason why it's rated R.
Yeah, they did not take full advantage of that as much as I thought they did.
Especially for a Craven story.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, Craven's number 17 for me.
Really?
I feel the same exact way. Like, to take out some of the cheesy dialogue, especially like
so cheesy.
Yeah, like I know one that we quote just to like laugh is the karma line when she was just like, oh yeah, karma catches up to everybody.
I'm faster.
Yeah, he's like, don't worry, I'm faster than her. It's just like
I'm better.
I feel like the best way to describe Craven is like they were cooking the entire time. They just forgot to turn the stove on. Like the choreography is great. CGI is good. Like I know people are like you said, like people complain about the design of Rhino.
Yeah. I
don't think the CGI is bad for Rhino because there's a ton of detail on Rhino. It's just his design is bad, not his CGI.
Yeah.
And I really liked Russell Crowe in this, and he was really good. I really liked how we kind of saw the brother slowly become the chameleon throughout the movie, and seeing that at the end, seeing that Kung Fu Panda, like having a chameleon as a villain who can just blend in as anybody. Like I love that design, or like that, like story structure.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's like why I really love the Skrulls in Marvel is because of that same thing.
Oh, for sure.
Questioning like, okay, is this the actual person or is this a disguise? And like the only thing I don't understand about Craven though is like people comparing it to Madam Web though, and people saying like, oh, this is worse than Madam Web, or this is just as bad.
Yeah, it shouldn't be compared to Madam Web at all. I feel like at least Craven had some type of fluidness.
Yes.
And Madam Web is just like, okay, she's like looking into the future. Okay, now she's doesn't know what's going on. Like it's like what is happening? It's too much going on.
I agree.
Yeah.
Then what is your number 17?
My number 17 was Red One.
Okay.
I really liked Red One. I didn't think it was bad at all. So I think this is where you kind of get into the movies where they weren't bad at all. It's just like, just had some that were way better.
Looking ahead on my list, I'm just like, dang, like there's a couple of these that are huge movies, and then there's some of these that we weren't expecting to love as much as we did.
Oh yeah. I would say Red One is my number 17. It was really good. I like the whole like CGI of Krampus and I forget her name, but it's the French version of like Santa or like Krampus or whatever. I'm
blanking right too, but the witch.
Yeah. I really like the whole take of like how they made Santa like strong and buff.
Yes.
Like I thought that was funny. I thought it was like a cool play on Santa. It kind of reminded me of Rise of the Guardians a little bit, like how he was built and buff. So for once, The Rock didn't annoy me. Like, he did a great job.
Oh yeah, like I said, like it feels like The Rock plays the same character in every movie that he's in or every role that he's in. But in this movie, it actually works.
Yes,
because like he's Santa's bodyguard.
Yeah,
and I thought Chris Evans was really cool. Like it was cool to see him in something other than like Captain America or Human Torch. Like other than just playing a hero. Like it was cool, like seeing him play like the character that he did in this movie. And I really like that too. Red One's actually number 16 for me.
Oh, okay.
So it seems like at least the middle part of our list we're like one off
Kinda
from each
same.
other.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Red One, like part of the reason why some people are hating on it is because it's not your typical Christmas movie. It's an action Christmas movie.
It's an action Christmas movie.
But it's like when you call something Red One, it's just like anytime there's like any squadrons or whatnot, whatever one is always the leader. Like in Star Wars, Red One is or Red Leader, then you have Red One, Red Two, Red Three, Red Four. Like that's just always how it goes.
I also feel like we have all of our classic
Oh yeah.
Christmas movies. We have all those comfort, family, lovey-dovey type movies.
Oh yeah.
We have all the Hallmark
Yeah.
movies in the world. So, I'm fine with having an action Christmas movie. It's
Oh, yeah.
okay. And I thought the snowman in that movie was so freaking cool. Such a great idea. So creative. So yeah, I give it its props. It's kind of like, just like the feel of it is kind of like Turbo Man-y a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it has like that action, but it's also a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I definitely did get those vibes from that too.
Yeah, so I don't know why people are hating on it. Yeah, it's an action Christmas movie. I don't know what else to tell you. So yeah.
What is your number 16?
My number 16 is If.
Okay.
If is really cute.
Yeah.
So cute. Love the imaginary friends is what it stands for. So freaking cute.
Oh yeah. This is definitely a must watch for any age.
Yes, I honestly can't wait to like show my kids this one because I feel like they love it. But I love John Krasinski's directing. He did a great job. For one of his, not first movies, but like he's kind of new to the directing game, so it's really cool. Seeing his visions come through, and Ryan Reynolds kind of came in and helped him with that a lot, it seems like. So, I thought the movie was okay. It was cute. It was cute. It was fun. Definitely like a classic kids movie, and I loved it. Really cool. Really cool.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with what you said. Mine's honestly a little bit higher on the list. So
a little bit
of a spoiler.
Yeah, he loved it.
a little bit of a spoiler alert. It's in the top 10 for me. But I really love this movie, and
I think it's because like I can connect to it in a way because like I had imaginary friends growing up.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was little, so it was really cool to see something like that, be brought to life on the big screen. Never really seen like a movie like that.
Yeah.
Like someone acknowledging your imaginary friends because people don't really acknowledge imaginary friends. So yeah,
and the same thing with that one. Like the music's really good, the choreography is really good. Like even in the dance scenes, CGI and design is really good for all the characters, and like I really liked it because like you saw a wide range of different characters. It's like we saw the little girl throughout the movie, but it's not like a bunch of the same imaginary friends. Like there's the big purple monster, there's the bee, which you ended up finding out that was the grandma's imaginary friend, and then you have Ryan Reynolds' character, and then you have the teddy bear, and like it was really cool at the end too, like that you get that twist.
Oh, for sure.
With her imaginary friend, and I honestly didn't see that coming until the very last second. I was like, oh wait, and yeah, I really like that one. I'm not gonna spoil where it's at, but it is in my top 10. For that, number 15 for me is A Quiet Place Day One. I feel like my top 15 is when you start getting to like all the big name movies and like all the heavy hitters. And I really like A Quiet Place. Like I saw it for the first time this year. I had never seen part 1 or 2 before this movie came out. Yep. And I hadn't seen them up until this year. And you really love them, and we watched them together, and you showed them to me, and I really loved the first 2. So it was really cool to see this, and especially see a different part of the world. Because like at that point, time skips in the first and second movie, so it's already established. They already know about them. So it was kind of cool to see like the world adapt and how quickly they adapted to like, okay, we just have to stay quiet, and these things aren't going to do anything. And even in the beginning, in the opening, like how it says New York is like the loudest city, and give like all the statistics and stuff, and just to see it go silent by the end of the movie, it was just crazy.
I felt like that movie like did a great job just like encapsulating how loud New York City is, and how something like those aliens will affect that to the highest degree. And that was just so cool, like how they did that. But really, really good directing, really good writing on that part. And just out of all the cities, that was probably the best one to obviously pick. To like see how everything went down. I thought it was really cool. I love the whole her and her cat. You know, that's her cat in real life, I found out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's her cat in real life.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah. And then Joseph Quinn's performance he did a great job. So I'm assuming he's going to be in the other films, you know.
Yeah.
It seems like, because he escaped on the boat. So I'm assuming he's going to be in the other ones, but yeah, really cool. Really, really cool.
Yeah, and especially seeing his performance too in this, it actually kind of got me a little bit excited to see him as Johnny Storm.
Yes, Johnny Storm and in Gladiator too.
Like, yeah, his performance in that was really good also.
He's booked and busy for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it's been cool to see like him play Eddie, him play his role in A Quiet Place, him play his role in Gladiator. Yeah. And showing like, okay, he can play very versatile things. So I know he will definitely do great. By the time Fantastic Four comes out. What's number 15 for you?
Number 15 was Monkey Man.
Okay.
Already gave my thoughts, so... Yeah. Not too much to say.
Okay. And what's your number 14?
My 14 is A Quiet Place, Day One.
Yeah.
Again, not much to say other than what I just said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So number 14 for me is Gladiator 2. For that one, just like the first one, visuals are really great. I thought it was especially cool too to see like we got different kinds of games in this one, and just got a little bit more story, and you kind of got to see like the parallels between the first movie and the second movie as well with the main characters. Just the only thing for me, I think why it is probably solo and not in my top 10 is just because, like I said, there's a couple characters like, okay, where'd they come from? What are their motives? I feel like there's a little bit of a historical significance to that, or it's just probably something I missed, or I just flat out just probably don't know. It may just be ignorance, but I still really enjoyed it. Like, yeah, it's at number 14. Yeah. But I still really liked it.
Which, if it is, let us know. Like, we were just like kind of confused on where the twins came from. Now, I did like just a tiny bit of research, and they said like, okay, like these are based off real people, but I'm just not sure. Like, if anybody wants to let us know, please do so.
Yeah, and then like they gave like that small little like side quote during the movie, like talking about like the mom wolf and like bringing in those cubs and treating them like her own. Yeah. Like, that's like, okay, maybe that's a little bit of symbolism for that, but I definitely feel like I'm missing something from it.
Oh, yeah. And we're on 13, right?
Correct. So that's number 13 for you.
So my 13 was Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay. So we actually have the same number 13.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yep. Yeah, mine's number 13 also, Godzilla x Kong.
Nice. Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
I thought it was good.
Oh, yeah.
I was entertained all the way through. I love the little monkey or the little ape.
Oh, yeah.
He was so cute.
Yep. And then he led Kong to Scar King, and yeah, I honestly don't know much about like the MonsterVerse and like all the different kaijus and stuff, and like all I know is King Kong and Godzilla, so it was cool to learn a little bit more and get to see more of these monsters and kaijus and stuff, and getting to get more of the lore. So I thought it was really cool. We got to see more of, what was it, Mid-Earth is what they call it?
Yeah, it was Mid-Earth.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool getting to see that and learn more about that, and getting to like learn about Scar King, and just seeing all the fights and stuff. Like, I thought it was really cool, and it looked really good. Yeah. So yeah, I have that one at number 13. My number 12.
That's valid.
I know is one movie that you really loved. I know yours is a little higher up for you.
Yeah.
But for me, number 12 is Piece by Piece.
Oh, that's my 12 too.
Oh, it's your same exact one too? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna put it above Moana.
Okay.
But I just felt like Moana had a little bit more cinematic, you know, put towards it. So I felt like Moana kind of beat Piece by Piece just a little bit. Yeah. Love Pharrell Williams' story. That's really, really cool. And my thing that just like how I love to see the movie is just how they built what his beats look like and like how he would imagine his beats look like. I thought that was the most creative. I thought that was the most creative thing out of like all the movies that we've seen this year. Just building each beat out of, you know, Legos. And I thought that was so cool, especially for little kids that are gonna go see the movie. Like, oh, okay, like this is what a beat, you know, looks like and sounds like. So, yeah, I feel like such an adorable little movie to go take your family to see, and can't wait to show this to my family one day too.
Oh yeah.
Really, really cute movie. Really cute movie.
Oh yeah.
And it's Lego. You know, how can you hate Lego? Like, we gotta love Lego.
Oh yeah. Which
music obviously good. It's Pharrell Williams, so.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Which kind of piggybacking off of what you said, like putting this in Lego was like the perfect way to visualize stuff. And like, I remember when this first got announced, I was like, okay, this is so cool. Like we'll have to go see it. And I'll be honest, I didn't know much about him going into this movie. Like I honestly thought he just made his music and that was it. Like I didn't know that he produced beats. I didn't know that. What's that condition like where he can like was it like see colors for beats or something that like
it's
music kind of looks
like,
different to you?
Anthropologia. It's something like that. But basically, you can see or you can hear colors. Yeah, you can hear colors. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, which I'll be completely honest, I didn't know that was a thing until that movie, and that was something really cool to learn. You know, it was just cool to learn about his career as well, and just see just how much he's done for the music industry, more so than just his music and the songs of his that have blown up.
Oh yeah.
So that one's definitely a must-watch if you guys haven't watched it yet.
Oh yeah.
Whether you know everything about Pharrell Williams or you know nothing about him, I feel like it's a good movie for everybody. What was number 11 for you?
Number 11 was Moana 2.
Okay.
Moana 2 had such great music. I love the music from the first movie. I literally know every song. So just to see that they match that energy while also tying it back to the other movies was great. I loved it. I thought her becoming like a demigod was so cool. And her having a little sister was so cool too.
Oh, yeah.
I literally run home to my little sister like saying, "Oh, little sis," and like big sis. It's so cute. So yes, I think it definitely topped Piece by Piece just by a tiny bit. So good though.
Yeah, for me, Moana was a little bit higher, but I definitely agree with what you said. Like, visually, it was really good. Music-wise, it was really good.
Oh, yeah.
Usually with second movies, like, usually the second one isn't as good as the first one.
It's not.
But this one...
Especially with Disney.
Oh, yeah. But this one, I definitely felt like it was just as good as the first one. Like, I love the music, love the visuals, the story. Just getting to learn more about, like, that island and that culture was, like, really cool, too. And especially with how it ends.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's definitely cool to see, like, where the third one's gonna go. Because, like, they give you a clear direction on where the third one's gonna go by the time that the second one's done.
Yep.
But yeah, my number 11 was Inside Out 2.
Oh, okay.
That one, I really like that one. Like, same thing. Honestly, like, normally the second ones aren't as good. But I felt like with Inside Out 2 also, like, that was the case. Like, it was cool getting to see, like, in the first one she was a child. Obviously this one she's still a child, but she's going through puberty, becoming a teenager and whatnot. It was cool just to see, like, how those change and kind of seeing, like, from the first one where everything is and the second one, and just be able to balance all those emotions and be able to balance all those memories and just everything. And I thought it was kind of funny too, the jokes with nostalgia with that. I thought that was pretty
really
funny.
Cool. The little old lady.
Yeah, but for that one, like, I'd be really excited if they did a third one.
Yeah.
Like, just to see, like, the next stage of that, like, adulthood, because that's where we're at. And it's like, I feel like it'd be really cool to see that.
Yeah.
And yeah, visually too, I thought it was good, and I never felt bored or felt like it was slow at all for Inside Out 2. So now we're in the top 10.
Top 10. All right, let's go.
Number 10 for me, I know this is one that came out in 2023, just like how Wish did. But
Yes.
I really love this one.
Mhm.
And number 10 for me is Iron Claw.
Yep.
Like, as a wrestling fan, it was a really cool movie to see and, like, learn the history of that family. Even though it is a super depressing story. And also hearing, too, later, like, what they ended up cutting out and things that they left out.
Yeah.
But Zac Efron even really surprised me in that movie, too.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he did really good. And, like, I honestly didn't really have any expectations going into this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up really loving it.
Oh, yeah.
And even though it was one of the first ones that we saw, it's still in my top 10.
Yeah.
And, like, if you're into wrestling, whether it's WWE, AEW, TNA, or you watch all of them, like, I feel like this is a really good movie to watch.
Oh, yeah. I agree. My number 10 is Gladiator.
Okay.
Like you said earlier, we were just a little bit confused on where, like, the twins came from or anything. But that could just be ignorance on our part. Cause, like, we had literally just watched the first one. We don't know too much about Roman Empire stuff.
Yeah.
We're usually, like, more, like, when it comes to Egyptian type stuff.
Yes.
Like, that's
Egyptian, Norse, Greek.
Yeah, like, that's the type of history that we like. So, yeah, we just didn't really know what was going on, like, when it came to the twins.
Yeah.
And
or even Denzel Washington's character, like where his
Denzel Washington's character,
like where his motives came from and whatnot.
Not saying that it was bad or anything, because it wasn't. We were just kind of confused on those parts, but yeah.
So number 9 for me, I'm not gonna attempt to say the full title for it just because I know I'm gonna say it wrong. But number 9 for me is the animated Lord of the Rings movie. Lord of the Rings is honestly something I'm freshly getting into. Same thing with Quiet Place. I've never watched it until this year.
Yeah.
And you got me into those. We actually just finished Two Towers the other night, and we're gonna start The Return of the King here soon. Yeah. And then we're gonna go to The Hobbit and then Rings of Power. So I actually really like that this was like a prequel to it and kind of got before it, and especially since this takes place at what's it called?
Helm's Deep.
Yeah, since it takes place at Helm's Deep, and just getting to learn more about that, and just getting to see that. It was kind of cool getting to see that in the movie, and then by the time you get to it in live action, just being like, oh, okay, so this is like what this is, and this is the significance of this place, and why they're traveling to this place. Like, it was very cool to see that, and as I'm learning more about Lord of the Rings and that universe and that lore, like, I really liked it, and so that fell at number 9 for me.
Oh, yeah. My number 9 was Kingdom of Planet of the Apes. I really liked it. Obviously, it's the first movie to, a trilogy or just the series, the Planet of the Apes series. So I don't think there should be much criticism around it. Yeah. I feel like Proximus Caesar was my favorite part of the movie. He was definitely my favorite part of the movie for sure. And I just loved his whole vibe. I loved how they used the birds to protect themselves and everything. But yeah, I'm just really excited to get the ball rolling on Planet of the Apes again. Yeah. Finish what James Franco started. So yeah.
Yeah, I really liked it too. Like, I thought the visuals were really good in it. The story's really good. Like, I thought it was cool too. Like, kind of seeing, since this takes place so long after the third one, just seeing like how Caesar's morals and how Caesar's message kind of just got misconstrued over the years. Yeah, and seeing how it kind of like split off into factions because his word wasn't passed down properly, and you had the Order of Caesar, which they have the actual word of it, and then you have things like Proximus, who read about Augustus Caesar, thinking that was Caesar. And yeah, I definitely like it, and it's a great start to the trilogy. And I'm definitely excited to see how the next couple turn out. What was number 8 for you?
Number 8 for me was Sonic 3.
Okay.
And that was really good. I love Shadow. Shadow is one of my favorite Sonic characters. And for Keanu Reeves to be voicing him, that was really, really cool. On top of that, this is one of Jim Carrey's like last performances for acting, so it's just nice to get to see that he's, you know, just doing what he loves and putting his all into the Eggman character. I like how, you know, the humans didn't really get in the way of this movie. I liked how it was like Sonic focused, Sonic, Knuckle, and Tails focused, and Shadow focused, so that was really cool to see that, you know, they weren't too much in there, but it was also a healthy balance, so that was really cool.
So my number 8 is Moana 2, which I already gave my thoughts about that. Like, it's definitely as good as the first one in my opinion. So if you love the first one, you're absolutely gonna love the second one. It's definitely one to check out, especially if you like the first one. But for me, Sonic 3 is number 7 for me. Mine's just one spot higher than yours, but I feel the same exact way. Like, Shadow's always a character I found really cool and really liked. We honestly didn't really get to have the time to watch Knuckles before this came out, but I don't really think I missed anything not watching Knuckles. Like, we're still gonna go back and watch it. It's just that way we're caught up on everything.
I think they did like 2 little references in the beginning, and I was just like, okay, that's probably like a Knuckles reference, like from the show, and we just haven't, you know, watched that yet. So just Keanu Reeves was the perfect voice casting in my opinion for Shadow. And then it was really cool getting to see Jim Carrey play 2 different versions. That was really cool.
And like play 2 different characters, and just like how they're both similar and different in their own ways. And if this is his last performance, it was really good. And it's just really cool getting to see him play a role that he really loves. If this is like towards the end of his career, and if we'll see him in anything else. And then if you've seen the post credits, I'm not going to spoil it just because of how recent this movie is, but that post credit scene was really good. And definitely gets me excited for the 4th one. And what you see even looks really good just from the post credit scene.
For sure.
What was your number 7?
My number 7 was Lord of the Rings, the War of Rohirrim. Loved it. It was definitely like a girl boss, girl power movie. I love how at the end she didn't need to marry a man or anything, or have a man come save her in any way. So that was really cool. I loved the theme. I loved the message. It sucks that the brothers and the dad died. That sucked, but it was such good storytelling, and we get a little bit backstory on Helm's Deep and how it got its name. So that's really, really cool.
Also, Wolf was really good as a villain too.
Wolf was a really good villain. Very good.
That just entire movie, just the animation, the story, the voice acting.
Voice acting is really good.
What is your number 6?
9. My number 6 is Deadpool and Wolverine. I like Deadpool and Wolverine. The reason why it's not towards the top of my list, like how I would have wanted it to be, was just the last fight scene. I was just like, okay, it's a little bit too much now for me. I thought it was like a really cool scene. I just felt like it could have been like in a different movie, if that makes sense. I didn't like how like the villain got lost either. But other than that, jokes were 10 out of 10. I love the Jennifer Garner and Ben Affleck joke. That's my favorite joke out of the movie.
That was funny.
I love how we get, you know, him basically fighting for his family and his Earth, because he actually does care. And getting the girl too. So yeah, I thought, other than that like last fight scene, which was kind of like a turn off for me, it was really good. Really good. And the Chris Evans scene was really, really funny. That was funny.
Deadpool Wolverine's a little bit higher for me. I'm not going to spoil where it's at, but it is a little bit higher. So I'll give my thoughts once I get to it. But number 6 for me is If. Like I said, If is one that I really enjoyed this year. That was one, I think that came out more towards the beginning of the year. But yeah, I just enjoyed it, and like I love it. And I feel like everybody can relate to it, and it's one of those movies where like anybody can watch it. Like adults can watch it and love it, grandparents can love it and watch it, kids can love it and watch it, families can, couples can, just like anybody. Like it's a movie for everybody, and I really like that. And yeah, so for there, it's set at number 6 for me, and it's been in my top 10 pretty much since it came out.
You really liked it.
Oh yeah. So now we're at the top 5. My number 5 is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. I really liked it. Like same thing with that. Like the visuals were really cool.
Visuals were really good. Yeah.
They really good. Like ultra realistic, and
music was good too.
Oh yeah, the music was really good. I like the callbacks to the first 3 movies in this universe at least. And just find out too, like Noah isn't related to Caesar. Like this isn't just continuing Caesar's bloodline. This is just continuing the idea of Caesar, and just whether his words were passed down properly or whether they were misconstrued or whatever it was. So Kingdom fell at number 5 for me.
Oh yeah.
So what's your number 5?
My number 5 was Inside Out 2.
Okay.
Inside Out 2 is really good. I love how they showed anxiety, and that's just like how I feel at times, because I suffer from really bad anxiety, and just being able to relate to that, and like trying to put myself in her shoes. Like if I was a kid going to go see this movie, it would definitely like help me understand a little bit like who I am as a person, like after leaving. Like, okay, like I might have that, or okay, like let me tell my dad and mom, like I think I deal with this too, like I feel like this sometimes. So I felt like it was a great way to teach kids about their newfound emotions, just going through puberty and all those types of things. And yes, the nostalgia.
Oh yeah.
The whole nostalgia grandma was so freaking cute.
Oh yeah.
I loved it.
What
was your what are we on? 4?
Yep.
Okay, what's number 4?
My number 4 is Dune Part 2. The first one, I'll be completely honest, I didn't really like it the first time watching it. And then I went back and watched it again and ended up really liking it and really understanding it more.
Yeah.
So I got really excited for the second one, so much so that I actually bought the first book. I still have to read it, but I want to read it before the next movies come out.
Yeah.
And we also still have to watch Dune Prophecy as well.
Oh,
I've heard that is really good so
Dune
far.
Prophecy.
And I'm really excited for that too. But just visually it's good, just like the first one, and story I felt was really engaging, and Timothée Chalamet, he's shown the last couple years just his variety in acting as well.
Variety is crazy.
And
yes.
Yeah, overall, I really like Dune Part 2, and I'm excited to see the next installments and what else is in that universe that we get to see in live action.
Yep.
So what was your number 4?
Alright, so my number 4 was Transformers 1. But I want to make a point of Iron Claw is my number 3. And Iron Claw is a 2023 movie, technically. So if, Iron Claw wasn't in the picture, Transformers would be my number 3.
Okay.
It was my number 1, but I switched some things around. So Transformers 1 would be my number 3 if it wasn't for Iron Claw. And I don't know, I just felt like Iron Claw was very impactful. Oh yeah. But Transformer 1 was so freaking good. It was this close to being my movie of the year.
Okay.
So close, but I just loved it. I loved all the jokes. I was entertained all the way through. It was so funny. The cast, I thought Chris Hemsworth did a great job. I thought, what's his name, Peele or King?
Oh, Keegan-Michael Key.
Yeah, Keegan-Michael Key did a great job.
Oh yeah.
And
I'm
yeah,
blanking on his name right now too, but the guy that voiced Megatron.
yeah,
Yeah, he
Megatron.
was also in Eternals
So
and The Fire
good.
Inside. And
Yeah, he's a good
like that.
actor. He's a
Oh
great
yeah.
actor. So yeah, I just love that movie. Love it, love it, love it. And I love Transformers. So it was really cool to see them just bring it back to life. I think for this new generation,
Oh yeah.
you know, I think they're taking, you know, old gen movies and making them suitable for like the generations now.
Oh yeah.
You know, so I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah.
And I was entertained, you know. I thought it was great.
Yeah. For me, Transformers 1 is honestly number 3. I feel very similarly. I really like the designs of all the characters as well. Like, it's a mixture of like Gen 1 and like something new as well. And I kind of like to, honestly, seeing this movie, I wasn't really excited for it. Just I was like, oh, this movie's gonna be really kiddie. It's gonna be full of jokes. It's not gonna be as good. It's just gonna be like a less serious Transformers. And I was absolutely blown away by this. Like,
I was ready.
Yeah. I love how it started, like, with showing Orion Pax and Megatron. I can't remember it's whatever one. So I know in the comments they'll probably correct me on what it is. And I really appreciate it. But yeah, I really like seeing like that slow progress to Megatron and to Optimus. And then just getting to see Bumblebee and just seeing how he was at the start and just getting to see Cybertron, and it was all really cool, and I was honestly really blown away.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen it, there's 2 post-credit scenes for it. And honestly, if they make this into a trilogy, I could definitely see this eventually progressing to the war for Cybertron.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, it sounds really cool. And you said Iron Claw's your number 3, correct?
Yes. So Iron Claw was my number 3. Again, this was another one that was almost my movie of the year, but I couldn't really label it my, you know, movie of the year since it did come out last year. But it was so good. It was so impactful. You know, I have 3 other siblings, so I definitely felt that, you know, just you know, feeling the weight of like losing a sibling. I can't even imagine what that feels like. So, you know, I just felt like the story really moved me and was really good. For what it was. I thought the acting was 10 out of 10.
Oh yeah.
From everybody.
Yeah.
Not just Zac Efron. And it was great. It was really good.
Yeah. So what is your number 2?
My number 2 is The Fire Inside.
Okay.
So that's about Clarissa Shields. She is a Flint, Michigan fighter, and she's the first woman to win Olympic boxing. She was the first woman to win Olympic boxing in how many years? It was like some couple.
She was the first one a gold medal for the U.S.
Yeah, for the U.S.
For boxing, just
in years.
And anything, I think it was like 40 plus years. They said, and then the fact that she won it back to back, and she's the first and only to win gold back to back, I thought was really cool.
That was really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, her story is just really inspiring, and she's so cool. I thought the music was great. I thought the acting was amazing as well. The scenery definitely caught the vibe of our city. So yeah, it was really good, and everybody's clapped at the end. And I don't know. I feel like it definitely brought, you know, people together as a community for sure. Because, you know, I feel like with everything that's happened to Flint, with the whole crisis and everything, I feel like this is something that we definitely needed to show young people that, you know, something can be great coming out of Flint. You know, something can be bigger coming out of here. So yeah, it was really good, very inspiring story, and I definitely will leave it at my number 2 for sure.
Okay, my number 2 is Deadpool Wolverine.
Wolverine.
For this movie, I feel like it has a little bit of a bias just because I really love Deadpool.
He loves
He's one of my favorite characters. Funny enough, in Fortnite, it's one of my most worn skins other than Fiststick.
Yep.
But I've just always loved Deadpool. Like, I love the first the first two movies. And then when this one got announced that Hugh Jackman's coming back, I remember how hyped that was. And just internet blowing up. And oh yeah, that cameo was perfect too. But just like everything about this movie, I just loved. Like the cameos, the jokes, the suits, just everything. And just learning what we did after the movie. Like Wesley Snipes' daughter didn't even know that he was in the movie, and like they went and saw it, and,
cool.
and she was like, "How did you have the when did you have the time to go film this?" And like it was really cool to learn that, and just all the jokes and one-liners, and just to like this movie didn't really need a villain, but it worked, and I really liked it. And just getting to see a character that we haven't seen in live action, and it's a fairly new character, and yeah, I really love it, and I'm really excited to see where Deadpool goes. Especially Ryan Reynolds, he was perfect for Deadpool. He was made for that role.
Made for that role.
And I'm glad that, especially Disney, let him continue to do that. And continues to let him just do what he needs to for that role, and doesn't really put any restrictions on him. Because I know that was a huge concern when Disney bought Fox. But I absolutely love Deadpool and Wolverine this year.
Yeah.
And honestly, it would have been my number one if this movie if my number one didn't come out this year. So before I say mine, what was your number one?
Alright, so my number one was Dune Part 2. Dune was so good, cinematic wise, story wise, so good. Timothée Chalamet does a great job portraying Paul Atreides.
Oh yeah.
And just how you know, he's afraid to gain that power because of, you know, what he can do and everything. So I really like the love story. I really like Sigler and how, you know, he's like, listen, Akeem, you know, he's like, he is the one, the prophet. Yeah. So that was really, really cool to, you know, see that. The shots, so cinematic. The whole worm shot
that was cool.
So freaking cool. The fight scenes, especially when it just went silent, and like it's just like them hand-to-hand combat, so good. May thy knife chip and shatter, like
which we quote that often too.
Yes, chef's kiss. So good. It was so good. Yeah, very good. It's definitely my number one, and yeah.
Okay.
Story through and through. Loved it.
Yeah.
That mom is crazy though.
Oh yeah.
She is crazy, dude.
Oh yeah.
But it's all leading up to something.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and we're both definitely really intrigued to see what all this leads to.
Yep.
Just because as of recording this, at least we haven't read the books, so we don't know what's to come. But I have the first one, and I plan on buying the second and third one.
Yep.
So that way we can definitely read that before those movies come out.
Oh yeah.
But my number one was your number two. It's The Fire Inside. I've learned a little bit about Clarissa Shields here and there because of you, just because she is one of your inspirations and someone that you look up to. And it's just cool too to get like that representation of Flint.
Oh yeah.
And just some of the lines we got in that movie was like, yes, like I hope like that line like is something that echoes throughout the nation, and just like even too just some of the shots being shot in Flint was really cool, and also just getting to like learn her story, not just how she got to the Olympics, but also everything she did when she got back from the first Olympics. And just I didn't know too that she's still undefeated as of that movie being recorded, and yeah, it was just overall a really good movie.
Really good
and
movie.
It was really like representation was really cool for that movie as well. And just everybody in that movie was really good at acting. Yes. And like it felt real.
It did. Movie. It definitely like felt like it connected to our city and who we are here in Flint. So it was very good, very good. Yeah,
and that was a movie that we didn't know was coming out until a couple weeks ago.
And I had literally, I've been telling him, like, because he didn't know who Clarissa Shields was, but I was like, I feel like Clarissa Shields should have her own movie. And I had been saying this, like, for a year and some months now.
Oh yeah.
And like I finally see the trailer, and I literally cried when seeing the trailer. Like,
oh yeah,
so freaking good. It was so good,
Yeah.
and it really does. You know, she's so cool, so cool.
Yeah, and I'm not one to tear up at movies or shows or like anything for that matter. But like there was a scene in this movie, like when it shows her winning the gold medal and like that, and Flint celebrating and seeing her family celebrate and her celebrate. Like, I don't know, but that scene just made me tear up, and I know it made you tear up too. And
oh yeah,
it's just a really cool movie, and it's like it's one that we didn't know we were gonna even get this year.
Yep.
And yeah, it was just really cool.
Very cool.
But that was our tier list for this year. We saw a lot of really good movies, and
yes, we did.
Next year seems to have a lot of really good movies.
So excited for next year's movies.
Off the top of your head, what movie are you most excited for next year?
Captain America.
Okay.
What else are we getting next year? Oh, can't think of it right now. Don't we get Spider-Man? Do we get Spider-Man, or is that another 2 years?
I think.
Well, but Shameik Moore, probably.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I know we're still waiting to hear about when we're gonna get that.
Literally. Yeah, I'm. Wouldn't say I'm excited to see it, but I'm just curious with the Minecraft movie how that's gonna turn out. You know, if it's gonna be another Borderlands or what.
I don't know if we didn't see Borderlands, but I know we don't plan to. But I don't think any video game movie is gonna be worse than Borderlands.
Yeah.
But I feel
didn't that come out this year?
Yeah.
Oh, see, we didn't see that one, and we weren't going to. So yeah.
I'd say one I'm pretty excited for. I know we just got the trailer for it. I'll say Superman Legacy. Like
yes. Oh yeah. Duh.
Yeah. It's gonna be really cool to see like what James Gunn does, and I'm hoping it's really good. So
excited.
And I'm also really excited for that. I'm also really excited for Fantastic Four, even though we don't have a trailer for that yet.
Really excited for that
I'm more so intrigued to see how Pedro Pascal does as Mr. Fantastic.
Me too.
Just because I know Johnny and Sue and Ben are all perfect castings and all really good castings. It's just Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he's definitely like the big question mark for me.
Because like, love him as Mando, loved him in Gladiator. I liked him in Wonder Woman 84.
In Gladiator, he felt like he was just there a little bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm hoping that he definitely does give that Mr. Fantastic oomph that we all need. But I don't want to hate on it too much, because this is literally like the third adaptation of Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna be honest, no matter how he does, I just want it to be successful.
Oh yeah.
Because we just need Fantastic Four in the MCU badly.
Yeah.
So.
And so far, it seems like it's gonna be really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But what would your guys' tier list look like? What movies did you guys see this year? Is there any new franchise that you got into? Like how I got into like how I just got into Quiet Place and Lord of the Rings this year. And gonna continue in 2025.
Oh yeah.
Also comment too. Any games you'd like to see me play? Any topics you want me to see me talk about? I love baseball, football, video games, pretty much any sport, but like I said, mainly baseball and football. And when it comes to video games, I play a little bit of everything. And when it comes to topics, even if I'm not that well versed and knowledgeable about it, I'm always open to talk about it.
Oh yeah.
But make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below any of your thoughts, movies that. Also, what's your favorite movie? That's something that would be cool to see in the comments below.
Yes, tell us your favorite movie of this year, and one that you're anticipating for next year for sure. That would be great.
And like I said, throughout the year, somebody's least favorite is somebody's favorite. But I don't think anybody really liked Madam Web. I don't think that'll be anybody's number one. Until next time.
And Borderlands.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.